Well, easy job. You know how the saying goes. That bolt that's right there doesn't feel too good. Feels exactly like this one did. That one's on the back corner. We got a 2010 Subaru here. It's in for a bunch of work. Valve covers being one of them because they're filling up the spark plug tubes with oil and causing misfires. And these aren't too bad to do. It's also in for axles because it has aftermarket axles in there, and it's causing a vibration on acceleration. So since the axle's got to come out anyway to do the valve covers, it makes it a lot easier rather than if anybody's ever done these before, you know that it's easier to jack the engine up and you know, to get the valve covers out and stuff like that, and you kind of pry the engine over one side to give you more clearance, and in doing so, a lot of times you'll pull the tulip right out of the inner CV shaft boot, and then you have to deal with that. It's way easier just to take the axles out. It's just the two strut bolts, the axle nut, and it comes right out. It's super easy. I made a video before on not this vehicle, but just any front-wheel drive vehicle in general. Taking out the front axles are fairly simple. But like I said before, any easy job is just two broken bolts away from being an absolute nightmare. Lucky for me, it's these two bottom bolts right here, right there. So I took off the inner wheel well. Gives me plenty of room in there. I have not decided on how I'm going to get these out yet. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the old weld a nut on trick. I'm going to try that. Otherwise, I'll just put these back in place, put like two bolts back in, and I could use that as a guide to drill them out. So this one is a through. It'll go all the way through, and this one is a blind one, so I have to be mindful of how deep I drill that one out if I do that. But I'm really thinking that I'm going to try to do the weld trick on it, which usually works, and you know, getting a drill in here with this is going to be a little difficult. I may gain a lot more room once I jack it up and push the engine over that way. But in doing so, I have to also be careful of the exhaust. Exhaust already has a broken hanger. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's kind of hard to make out, but there's a hanger there. That hanger there is busted. See? Right there. I don't have a tripod, so I can't like do this live. But basically, what I used to do, and it works, I used to weld a nut on there, and that would work. But you have to kind of fill the hole up, and it's kind of a, you know, sometimes it might take a couple times. What I do now is I'll weld a washer on, and I'm probably going to lose the washer because I keep dropping it, but weld the washer on, right? So you weld the washer on to the stud, and then you weld the nut to the washer and on the inside a little bit, and I've had way more success doing it that way. That one right there still got a little bit of oil dripping on it, so obviously I'll move that before I start welding, but I will be back in a second. Now when doing this, don't expect it to be pretty, okay? I had to contend with some oil on there, alright? It should be good enough just to get what I need done. So now I got to get the nut on there, and then hopefully it'll come right out. Maybe the heat, usually the heat will help expand the metal a little bit and see what happens. If not, I'll have to drill it out. Not pretty. Okay, let me see if I can even prop this up here. Yeah, almost. Looks like it's gonna fall on me. It's slowly moving. But let's see if I can get the socket on there. I might have to use a turbo socket. Try not to get any weld on the outside as much as you can. I kind of didn't do that too well, but might work, hopefully. Now don't beat on it too hard or you break the ear off of the head. If you do that, you fuck. So I'm going to use a breaker bar, and it is turning slightly. I'm using a breaker bar so I can work it back and forth just in case. And my socket just fell off is all. But it feels good now, good enough to use the ratchet. And I dropped it home. Let's see. Alright. And when it starts to feel a little tight, that's a good sign to start going the opposite way, try to cut, you know, go back and forth. I actually did that when I felt the bolt didn't feel too good, but that didn't work. So this works. Oop, where'd it go? Now you can see, holds good, there's threads still. And no idea where it went. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. Well, at least now it's cooled off. But as you can see, ugly, but it worked. Now I got to do it on the other one. And see if I can set this up again. Probably not. That's the best I can do. Yep. Come on. This one's working. Fourth, and that one broke off. So that one's going to be a pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to clean it up, get another washer, do the same exact thing, and try it again. Well, I couldn't get that out. So trying to take that off, and of course that fought me. So I had to use an air hammer to get that off. Every step of the way it's fighting me. I don't have a guide to drill that out, so I have an idea. I have this kit. Right, it's for drilling out cross pins for differentials, you know, when they break off there, and it has these little guides. So They won't fit in there. So my idea is I'm going to tap that hole to that size. That way I will have a guide. I'm going to put this back on and this will be my guide. And then I'm going to drill that out. Alright, so I tapped it. Wound up being like the perfect size for it. Now, screw that in. And now I have a guide for my drill bit. And wish me luck. Alright, so I think it worked. Yep, so I think it worked. Alright. Get beer, I need it. So, it's funny how the easy side turned out to be the hard side. Just when I don't feel like standing up. Let's see. Oh, don't want to lose that. I got to go through the top. All right. But you see, I'm through. I'm gonna have to tap it. Some of the aluminum fell away, but there should be plenty enough. The gasket surface up here. What a nightmare. Now I gotta get 2 bolts, 3 bolts. I gotta get a bolt for that thing that kicked my ass. What a nightmare. The easy side. Oh, easy side always gets you. Bastard.